Yeah, to all, how's everyone doing? Got a little surprise for you, and I discovered a new feature. You can play a video straight from your laptop or whatever thing you're on, instead of sharing a website. And man, really cool. So this is the new song, and it is up. And what I will do is I will give you guys the link.
Hail, new song.
Hail to the new song. Yeah, apparently I left my playlist playing, and it had got down to the 5th song.
Whoops. Well, I'm sure that one's a good one too.
Yeah, and all right. Okay. I have the.
Oh, I just want to be clear that I'm not conspiracy guy. I know that I look like him, but I'm not.
Yeah, the new song's called "The Howling Wind," and yes, it was influenced by Toxic Man Flu.
Hail, Toxic Man Flu.
And here is the actual link to the song, because it's just freshly uploaded. It's still rendering the HD versions, and so you're gonna get this is 4K video right here that we're gonna play. All right, here we go. Who let the genie out of the bottle? No, put it back. Wow, why is that video moving so slow like that? Facing down the howling wind, the howling of the storm.
I don't know.
The wolves howling back. That's weird. I clench my jaw as the rain cut my face. Glass in the howling wind. That's so weird. Like glass in the howling wind in the winter storm. Yeah, I don't think it can take the 4K.
Oh darn!
Right, we'll
it was cool.
We will try something else. We'll remove that. Hey, the first thing that's new always gets a little glitchy.
Just working out the kinks, folks. Working out the kinks.
See. Remove studio. There you go. So yeah, video file. That's a new thing. It's right above share screen for those of you that live stream. Hey, just another red shirt. How you doing? What's up, Tommy? Did you get your headset figured out? So
he said that he had a Microsoft update that he's fighting with at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't like Microsoft either. Fuckers.
Yeah, I got a program, man, but I don't recommend using this program because it shuts everything off. It shuts the store down to Microsoft, and you will not have access to the store. But it shuts all them back doors completely. So, all right. Hey, Tommy.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah. Hey, I just tried using the video file share, and wow, it was pulling lots of resources. I don't know if it's the new thing; they ain't got the bugs worked out, but yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to my laptop, but it shut down. I sent you a DM for it.
I haven't checked DMs yet.
Yeah,
I was getting ready to.
And it started. It just went into a restart for Microsoft, and I'm assuming that's why I had such a hard time with the other headphones and why they wouldn't connect, because there was some kind of update that went through, and because it didn't restart, it was interfering with everything else on my laptop.
Wow. All right, I am gonna try. Something different. All right, there we go. I'm going to try something different. We'll try this instead. Some of the tried and true ways. I don't know why that's open. All right, let's see here. I did not open that checksum. All right. Who let the genie out of the bottle? No, put that.
There you go. Now it seems to be working.
Facing down the howling with the howling of the storm. The wolves howling back. I clench my jaw as the rain cut my face. Glass in the howling wind. Like glass in the howling wind in the winter storm. Standing up to the greatest foe ever faced. Fear, it was me riding like a wave. Never give in, now you have to pay the price. You gotta deal with all the fallout. You gotta get out, grab a fishing pole and get some soul. Is it you, is it me? We can see through a flying eye. In the storm of the eye, wandering back. Who let the genie out of the bottle? No, putting it back. Facing down the howling wind, the howling of the storm. Wolves howling back. I clench my jaw as the rain cut my face. Like the glass in the howling wind in the winter storm. Standing up to the greatest foe ever faced. Fear. It was me riding like a wave. Never give in, now you have to pay the price. You gotta deal with all the fallout. You gotta get out. Grab a fishing pole and get some soul. Is it you? Is it me? We can't see through a flying eye. In the storm of the eye, wandering back. Who let the genie out of the bottle? Putting it back. Facing down the howling wind, the howling of the storm. Wolves howling back. I clench my jaw as the rain cut my face. Like the glass in the howling wind in the winter storm. Standing up to the greatest foe ever faced. Fear, it was me riding like a wave. Never give in, now you have to pay the price. You gotta deal with all the fallout. You gotta get out, grab a fishing pole and get some soul. Is it you? Is it me? We can't see through a flying eye. In the storm of the eye, wandering back. Who let the genie out of the bottle? No, putting it back. Wandering back. Facing down and howling. Who let the genie out of the bottle? No, putting it back. Hey. How'd that sound out there? Because that was basically, if you share the whole screen, then pop the video up wide a little bit, and then you can see exactly what I'm seeing, pretty much.
I thought it looked pretty good.
Tyler, how you doing, man? How you doing?
Hail, Tyler Mongo.
Gail Wolf, what's going on? What's up, Tyler?
Yeah, Toxic Man Flu just left a comment on the video, main video, the song.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, because a lot of those, a major portion of those lyrics were influenced by, written really by Toxic Man Flu. A small portion, and I reworded it and to fit it in with the song. Yeah,
very cool. Don't we have a great community here? I'm telling you, man.
We do, man.
The chat really, the amazing folks that we have in our chat really make my life a lot better. I'm telling you, I'd go crazy if I didn't have really cool, intelligent, amazing folks to talk with in the chat.
Because God knows you're not going to get it here on the panel.
Well, and we also have the best panel on YouTube as well.
Hey, the way I
But
look
I'm not.
at it,
These other guys are better.
Hey, the people that are going to be here matter the most. They're here now.
Oh.
And the ones in the chat. Yeah. So we just like to have fun around here, and I'm not going to let no one step on my toes when it comes to fun. Going to have fun, not going to stress all the stupid dumb shit, because it's stupid dumb shit. If the meek and the gullible want to consume stupid dumb shit, then they are free to, right?
Yeah, Michael Malice had a really good saying about that on his podcast. He was like, hey, when you talk to somebody that's not been woken up or whatever, you just have to nod your head and accept them as they are and just move on.
This is true.
Yep.
This is true. Very true.
Well, I have a best friend. Like I've talked about this before. I've known this guy since I was like 13, maybe even 12 years old. And we've been friends an awful long time. And he is all on board with all the popcorn shit companies that are out there and everything that they say and they do. And he doesn't care for the most part because he doesn't really follow any of that stuff. And most people are just blind to it. They don't care one way or another. They just want to see whatever movies they want to see. And that's all they care about. And he's a professed Star Wars lover. So when it comes to like the EU stuff and everything like that, he doesn't care though. He does not care at all because he didn't really read any of it. He didn't really read the comics. He didn't read the novels. He didn't really watch any of the shows that came after the movies. The only thing he concerns himself with is the movies. So he really didn't have too much of a problem with everything that he's seen on the screen because he didn't know nothing about any of the other lore. And you know what? It is what it is. I mean, I've explained to him, well, there's this, there's that, there's these novels that came before, George Lucas was on board with all these different things. He actually had somebody make sure that they followed his storylines and they didn't buck against what he had already put down in the movies because that's considered main canon. And, he in the end, he didn't care. And you know what? It is what it is. I mean, I don't try to say anything more to him about it. Unfortunately, he feels the need to sit there and say more to me about what I should be watching because, well, he says, like, how can you say anything about it if you've never watched it? Well, I've seen trailers, and I know from the trailers I don't want to see it, so that's good enough. And he says, no, it's not. You got to watch it. And I'm like, no. I told him, basically, I said, if you see a piece of shit on the ground, are you going to pick it up and play with it and smell it to make sure it's really shit, or are you just going to leave it sit?
Yeah. Well,
I think, hey, you owe me a Coke. We said the same thing at the same time. What's up, Keck?
What's going on, Keck?
Well, probably, probably your friend's a lot happier than we are. Ignorance is bliss. Sometimes I wonder, sometimes I think to myself, it'd be nice to kind of unlearn the stuff that I've learned and just be able to ignore it and not think about it. Then you have the stuff that happens with Gina Carano and what's happening in Hollywood, and you can't ignore it.
No, there's plenty of people, believe it or not, that don't know anything about it, don't concern themselves with it.
They're oblivious.
Yes.
Oh, that must be nice. Again, they're probably much happier than maybe we are. But I mean, it's just.
Let me preface that. There's a word. Complacently oblivious. So, it's a choice. Some folks have made a choice to be that way. And it's getting to the point to where a lot of folks have forgot they made that choice. So, yeah.
Have all of them made that choice? Have they not seen alternatives? Because that's part of the problem we're facing is that they're shutting down alternatives and blocking the alternatives. And so it's never going to show up on their radar. But I mean, I hear what you're saying. I in a way, I'm kind of envious of them because good for them. They don't have to think about it because they don't know. Must be nice.
Well, at some point they did know, but they made a choice to ignore it.
I always thought that, when you're trying to get into if you're getting into a franchise and if you like a franchise that much that you want to consume everything that franchise has to offer, not just like, saying like, for example, like if you say Star Wars and you say the movies, and most people that got into the movies got into the toy lines and everything like that. If you're going to go that far, don't you think that you would take it to its natural progression and start looking at everything else that it had to offer from the franchise? I mean, I would just assume so if you really felt like you were that big of a fan. And my buddy is a huge fan. He's got all these damn things. He's got like the masterpiece replica of the Darth Vader mask, a stormtrooper mask. He's got all these like really nice like he's got the old figures, and he's got like the statue things like Jabba on his perch thing. He's got the sail barge. He's got a giant at still from the 70s one. Yeah. He's got all this shit. He's got all the fancy posters and everything like that. But like as far as the EU and the comics, he just doesn't care. I mean, it just I don't know. It just seems like a devoid of interest at some point when you just don't care enough about the franchise to follow it all the way through. I mean, it's like saying if you really like the Crow movies, wouldn't you go back and read the James O'Barr graphic novels to see what was different or see if it was any better? I mean, I would think so myself.
That makes a lot of sense, and I think there's a lot of I don't know if it's laziness or if they don't want to ruin if they've seen the movie before the books, maybe the movie's already kind of ruined the books for them. Maybe when you see the movie first, you see the actor when you're reading through the pages and the character, rather than when you pick up the book first and you can imagine the character however it's described in the book. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Very tough.
I mean, I personally, I would think that it would add to it myself. I've always felt that way. I mean, if you care enough about a franchise, to me, it would just seem to add to it. It doesn't have to subtract. You could still sit there and you could envision the guys from the movies and still enjoy it for what it is, as something extra to what you've already seen and what you already know. But maybe that's just me.
Well, it's going to be very difficult for me to read The Expanse and not see, like, say, Holden as Stephen Strait, or to see Naomi, as she appears in the Expanse Amazon series. But people, if you're a fan, you should be able to pick that up. I mean, a lot of things, even Star Trek, the budget wouldn't allow for certain aliens to appear on the original series. But the animated series, they were able to have more diverse aliens on there because they weren't restricted by having a human actor or whatever the effects were of the day. So yeah, it's pretty tough to say.
It's really a shame I didn't have a chance to look through those comic books because they're so old. I just kind of put them away, but I did find 3 of the really old 1970 Star Trek comics. I'm kind of curious to see what kind of aliens they had in there.
I picked up some color filter squares, films, and I've been able to accent some lighting with it, was said.
Whoa, what's going on there?
You seen that, huh?
What the hell happened?
That's a red piece of thick film you put in front of a light, and you can change the lighting.
I can change my lighting. Watch.
That's just a filter.
Oh, all right.
You look like you're getting ready to interrogate somebody, Wes.
Well, a conspiracy guy gave me the idea. A lot of people think that I am conspiracy guy, but I'm not. I swear. I'm not conspiracy guy. Whoa, geez. The end is nigh.
I'll have the guinea pigs outside your house within the hour with the little signs up.
All right. That's cool.
that one there be yellow. Well, it's funny. You can't see through the yellow filter.
Whoa.
Oh, there it goes.
You
Yeah,
know,
yellow
just
filter.
just another red shirt. Yeah, he made a good point. He said he didn't have to have anything to do with the Star Wars EU material to know from reviews from the last 3 movies are worse than awful. They're destructive. I mean, it really is a shame too that most people just don't see that kind of stuff. But it is what it is. Oh, you know what, Wes? Last recording that I made, I recorded something. There was an old Star Trek kid's uniform. It was not like a regular uniform, like a like a deck crew uniform or nothing like that. But it's an old like kid's like outfit, and it's got all these like Enterprise drawings and Star Trek all up and down the pants and the jacket.
Hey, Tyler.
Weirdest thing I've ever seen.
I once had a friend of mine told me that things kind of move around me when I'm kind of pissed off and irritated. I never personally seen it with my own eyes, but they told me that some things were kind of moving around me. And this person asked me if I was irritated. And I said, well, yeah, I happen to be. Yeah, I'm very irritated. And they told me, it's like, hey, things just move into your hand. I hadn't noticed. I thought they were just blowing smoke up my ass personally, but it's one of those things. Funny.
Don't want to be around Bear when he gets tatered. I like tater tots.
All right, let's see here. All right. So yeah, you like the song, huh? Toxic Man Flu. Yeah. Let's see here. Give it another. As soon as the screen reacts and responds, there we go. All right. Guys, hear that?
Yep.
Who let the genie out of the bottle? No, put it back. Facing down the howling with the howling of the storm. There we go. I had to switch it. Once it'll howling back. I clench my jaw as the rain cut my face. Blast in the howling wind. Like blast in the howling wind in the winter storm. Standing up to the greatest foe ever faced. Fear, it was me riding like a wave. Never give in, now you have to pay the price. You gotta deal with all the fallout. You gotta get out, grab a fishing pole and get some soul. Salute. Is it you, is it me? We can see through a flying eye. In the storm of the eye, wandering back. Who let the genie out of the bottle? No, putting it back. Facing down the howling with the howling of the storm. Wolves howling back. I clench my jaw as the rain cut my face. Like the glass in the howling wind in the winter storm. Standing up to the greatest foe ever faced. Fear. It was me riding like a wave. Never give in now. You have to pay the price. You gotta deal with all the fallout. You gotta get out. Grab a fishing pole and get some soul. Is it you? Is it me? We can't see through a flying eye. In the storm of the eye, wandering back. Who let the genie out of the bottle? Putting it back. Facing down the howling wind, the howling of the storm. Wolves howling back. I clench my jaw as the rain cut my face. Like the glass in the howling wind in the winter storm. Standing up to the greatest foe ever faced. Fear it was me riding like a wave. Never give in, now you have to pay the price. You gotta deal with all the fallout. You gotta get out, grab a fishing pole, and get some soul. Is it you? Is it me? We can't see through a flying eye. In the storm of the eye, wandering back. Who let the genie out of the bottle? No, putting it back, wandering back. Facing down and howling. Who let the genie out of the bottle? No, putting it back. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, that song, basically the last 4, maybe 5 days I've been working on the lyrics. And believe it or not, there's maybe another couple songs in my DM, my direct messages I send to myself. They're little phrases here and there. They're complete verses, 2 or 3 verses here and there. Well, this song, I literally I breathed life into this song earlier today by singing the vocal tracks. And I sung a couple tracks, recorded right over it a few times. I did it until I had something I felt comfortable with it and felt like I knew it a little. Because sometimes a song you have to really know it a little, get to know it, and it's interesting, my process and how I do things. Honestly, if YouTube didn't have the instrumentals available, I would not be able to do this. This would be like very, very difficult, because back when I was doing this with a buddy of mine, it was difficult. Because when someone is playing guitar and they're basically trying to, because a melody doesn't even exist yet, and so you got to sing the song and create the melody. Well, the melody exists, and I already have in my mind a picture of what it sounds like, and so searching through volumes of instrumentals on YouTube free section can be monotonous, literally monotonous. And
I
it's
always
not easy.
find.
Go ahead, Wes.
Oh, I was going to say, I always find it fascinating, artists, their songwriting process, because, for example, Tool, right? Maynard says, I don't even want to bother writing lyrics until the music is done. And when the music is done, then I will put the lyrics to your music. With Metallica, James Hetfield would go into the studio and he would be like, no, 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 and vocalize, but not have the words written for the music. So to hear the process of songwriting, I always found that very interesting.
Well, you know what, Wes, when I played in those bands that I played in, I did it both ways. Sometimes I would write the lyrics first, and then I would have 9 times out of 10, I would try to make the guitar player sing everything because I didn't want to sing until he forced me to. But sometimes I would write the lyrics first, and I would have an idea how the song should sound, and then I would have to sit there and keep correcting them and say, no, do this, no, do that, and then orchestrate it that way. But a lot of the other times it was music first. I would come in and I would just start with a bass line, and then the guitarist would follow up, and then the drummer would kick in. And then usually we had to correct the drummer because it didn't fit. Drummers are always the beating sticks of the band, at least in the bands that I've been in. And then I would write the lyrics on top of it over that. So,
yeah, and
well, that's the thing. Ultimately, it's storytelling, right? So, and when you have multiple personalities involved in that, it's very fascinating to see how that story gets told. For me,
yeah, this instrumental is by Topher Moore and Alex Alina. And if it wasn't for musicians that put their stuff available on there, some have channels, some don't. Some just upload the instrumental, and there is some really, really good pieces of music. And yeah, it's one positive thing at YouTube. It has it in there. That's a plus.
Yeah, there is. The conspiracy theme song that was from the YouTube free library. Forget what it was called. A Circle of some nine. There's some name. I don't remember. But yeah, that I had to trim it a little bit and fade it in and out. But yeah, it really fits that show, the conspiracy theme song.
I'm kind of wondering what I could wind up getting my daughter to do for me later on, because she's always been interested in music, and she tried to pick up the bass after me, and she could play a little bit, but she could never figure out the timing playing bass. So she decided she wanted to go for a keyboard. So I picked her up a keyboard, and she's been working on it, creating stuff. So I'm wondering what I might be able to get her to create for me later on.
Yeah,
That could be kind of interesting.
That timing is hard. That timing is hard. Singing, yeah, it can be difficult writing the lyrics, because you get influences all over the place. And and in the popcorn world that we've been living in, man, there's all kinds of stuff out there. They create songs with, and they create a mirror, literally, of everything that's going on. But yeah, you tune it, and you make it kind of ironically funny, and you turn it into a story, and you either got a ballad or you got a story about this or a story about that, and you got all these things going on, and you create creative ways to tell those stories.
Well, Bear, there was a few of the songs that we'd written when I was in my first real band, and some of those songs that we wrote back then actually still hold true today. It's really hilarious, like a lot of the parallels that still exist.
Yeah, and it'll do that, and and everybody knows that my biggest influence is the Grateful Dead, but my second influence is a lot of older rock and roll bands that I've listened to. Oh, there are so many of them. Back in the days when you had records and you had 8 tracks, and 8 tracks, at one point in time, after they became unpopular, but people were still interested in them, and there was a whole bunch of 8 tracks to be had. And let me tell you, I had a shit ton of 8 tracks and 8 track players. Those hi-fi sound systems they had back in those days, they had some really good sound. And there was a lot of cars that had 8 tracks you could pop in,
Yeah.
Yep.
Big 78 Mercury Marquis had those 8 track players in them. Big boat of a car. 460, what is it, 464 size engine in it. Huge. Fast.
I remember when the big changeover happened and everybody was switching over to tapes, because a lot of those cars still had the 8 tracks in them.
This is true, Toxic Man Flu. This is very true. It's just everything has a different window, and everything has a window of time, and it all connects to it, and it's all things that have happened before that are happening again. It's in the story. Everything's in the story. If you want to think about it, get right down to it. And the one thing that, in lots of ways, that can't really be controlled is live music. There was a lot of struggles and all that a lot of bands in the early days went through to be able to sing stuff like that. And so the spirit of that lives in a lot of the songs that I do, because things should be free, and you should be able to freely sing your voice if you want to, or speak your mind.
One of the things I'm
Sometimes
sorry.
being able to sing it in a song, it gets past those that aren't paying attention and those that shouldn't probably notice it, but it'll get to those that need it. Go ahead.
One of the things I was going to say, I always equated to a lot of the things that are going on between, just real life and music and everything in general. I always felt that it revolved in like a vicious circle, you know. Everything always comes back around again, and it's always like it's a saw blade in motion that never stops, and it just keeps churning and churning and churning. And I remember when our band, when we got rid of the drummer, a big surprise there, talking about the problems I had with drummers. When we got rid of the drummer and we reformed the band and we had to pick a new name, I decided to use Vicious Circle as the name of the band. And the guitar player was on board with that, man. Like some of the stuff that we wrote really told about a lot of the shit that we're doing now, like the problems with greed and money and everything like that. And it always just keeps circling back around.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. Songs and storytelling are slower forms of social media. Now, you take what the Grateful Dead did with the song. We all know what they did. And you take other things and you use similar methods, but a little less. And you can influence and get to things, and you can get thoughts and ideals and ideas out there. Maybe with a song compared to any other format. And you can get a thing like an ideal or an idea out there through a song easier than you would to any other way, I think, and I think that's kind of why I went back to making songs. And sometimes people just want to rock and roll, have a good time. And right now I think having a little bit of rock and roll, a little bit of good time, I think it's really healthy for the soul right now, with all the crazy popcorn world stuff going on out there. Yeah. So you had some thoughts, Tommy.
No, I went through most of them.
I know you got more.
I've always got more thoughts, but I try not to get into them too much just because I wind up going on these freaking extremely ridiculous rants, and it's too damn late for me to try to do that right now.
Well, talk about something that in the music world that you're passionate about that maybe I've never heard. Yeah.
Well, you know what? There was a lot of influences when I was playing, and some of the early influences, like when you talk about the Grateful Dead, I mean, yeah, Cliff Burton from Metallica was actually one of my biggest influences to actually pick up the bass, but he wasn't the only one. The bass player from Bob Marley and the Wailers was another one, because I love Bob Marley and the Wailers. I love that reggae sound. There was something about it, man. It was soothing, but it was also, it was aggressive too in its own way. And I think being able to like mix all those different sounds was something that I was trying to do early on. And I think there was a lot of bands that I had tried out for. They just didn't quite understand what I was doing. But, it's one of those things when you're getting out there and trying to get your ideas out there, like I was trying to do at the time. And you're either going to find the right people that are going to compliment you, or you're going to compliment them, or you're just not. I mean, I did for a while. It's just a shame, like we'll go right back to it. It's the crazy drummer. It always seems to be the drummers, man. I don't know what is wrong with those guys.
Who's to say something like the Grateful Dead couldn't happen again?
No, it absolutely could, because you know what? Once again, you go back to that circle. Everything kind of like it recycles in a sense. Like a lot of the same music you hear now, it's got its influence from stuff maybe in the 80s or maybe even earlier than that.
Look where I grew up in northwestern Indiana, and you know that a lot of areas like that was influenced by a lot of southern rock, and there was rock and roll bands that would tour all over the bars of northwestern Indiana to all the way down to the bayou, between there, all between, and there's a whole bunch of places that back and forth where all these people on the road would go to all these rock and roll bars. Some of these rock and roll bars are pretty famous, Don't ask me to recite one because I don't really remember because, rock and roll bar, there's a lot of something going on, mostly probably a lot of drinking, stuff like that, but a lot of good old fun,
You know what the biggest problem with a lot of these different places when you're playing like small, at least, is they always have their go-to band, and whatever the go-to band is playing, if you're not exactly in line with them, you're going to have a hard time capturing the attention of the people that are out there.
This is true. Yeah. You got a different. Here's a sure sign. You go into a rock and roll bar, and there's a iron mesh cage around the stage. You just walked into a rock and roll honky tonk joint. You know what I'm saying? Bottles are going to be thrown.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough that most of the places that we played, most of the people we played in front of, we didn't actually like agitate anybody to that extent. Granted, I maybe I might have said a few like ignorant things to a few people, but you know what? No, I guess it shouldn't be surprising that I did. There's always going to be somebody who's going to agitate you, but yeah, like we never had like any major problems. I think we only had like two bar fights. That was it.
I'll just always remember that scene from the Blues Brothers when they had that cage around them and people were throwing bottles and things were breaking on stage. Didn't even realize that was an actual thing.
Wasn't there there was another
they kept
movie.
singing Rawhide over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple different movies that showed rock and roll bands behind cages and screening and all that. And oh man, there was
Didn't they do it in Roadhouse too, or no?
I think there was a cage in Roadhouse around the band shell. Yeah. There was another movie, a more recent one. I think it was Jeff Bridges played it's like a little mixture of rockabilly and country, and it was a movie that he played in, and he was old musician traveling from bar to bar throughout the country. Interesting movie for sure.
What's that movie with Michael J. Fox and Joan Jett? We were talking about that earlier today on Polystream. And I was like, I remember the movie. I remember it not being a high grossing movie, but I also remember, it seemed like a really raw take on what happens with a band that travels because they were not doing well. There was a lot of tension. They weren't making a lot of money. It was a good movie.
Oh man, dude, man, the road life, it is not the life. It is hard fucking core, man. Is
it a wonder that so many musicians wind up becoming freaking drug addicts or alcoholics?
Well, that's the thing, man. A lot of these rock and roll bars and roadhouses along the way, with these places come the people, places, and playthings, and there's going to be drugs there, and the number two biggest ones musicians use, heroin and cocaine,
Mm-hmm.
And if you can avoid those two pitfalls, you're doing wonderful. And take it easy on the sauce and don't burn your damn liver out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it doesn't help that most of the bars when you're playing there, they give you some kind of an open tab. Like it is usually not a big one, depending on the place, but usually you do get some free drinks and everything. So that doesn't help because it's free. Who's not going to take a free drink?
Exactly. And basically learning the when is when. You know what I'm saying?
You probably have to. Yeah. Wow.
So, do you remember this song, The Pantheon Hidden? There's a lot of meaning in that song. Because you know what it's about. The Pantheon of Washington up inside the Capitol Dome. Those are pagan gods up there.
Yep.
And I believe the lady on top of the U.S. Capitol, I believe she is a goddess. Or I forget which one it is. I found some stuff about it a while back, but I found it interesting. It was a video. I forgot who did the video about it. Might have been Florida Mikey. Yeah. So yeah, let's give this tune here a listen and refill your glasses. And
Oh yeah, RR said Roadhouse had a cage around the band.
Yep.
Yep.
There was one or two other movies that had some scenes like that. Pretty hardcore scenes too. All right, we'll give this song a spin, as they used to say. Still hear it?
Yep.
All right, there goes the cork. Nice big drink. Or cognac. All right, salute. Jefferson made the city. Woo. There's pagan gods hanging out in the Capitol Dome. In the Pantheon, the grand prize is not what we thought. Folks getting buyer's remorse, just a remnant of a forgotten world that was never hidden. It was right there in our faces, the place in need of light. Paul Revere's ghost looks over a forgotten post. Jefferson made the city. There's pagan gods hanging out in the Capitol Dome. In the Pantheon, the grand prize is not what we thought. Folks getting buyer's remorse, just a remnant of a forgotten world that was never hidden. It was just right there in our faces, place in need of light. Paul Revere's ghost looks over a forgotten post. Jefferson made the city. There's pagan gods hanging out in the Capitol Dome. In the Pantheon, the grand prize is not what we thought. Folks getting buyer's remorse, just a remnant of a forgotten world that was never hidden. It was right there in our faces, the place in need of light. Paul Revere's ghost looks over a forgotten post. Jefferson made the city. There's pagan gods hanging out in the Capitol Dome. In the Pantheon, the grand prize is not what we thought. Folks getting buyer's remorse, just a remnant of a forgotten world that was never hidden. The place in need of light. Paul Revere's ghost looks over a forgotten post. Jefferson made the city. There's pagan gods hanging out in the Capitol dome. In the pantheon, the grand prize is not what we thought. Folks getting buyer's remorse, just a remnant of a forgotten world that was never hidden. It was right there in our faces. Places need of light. Paul Revere's ghost looked sober, a forgotten host. Jefferson made the city. There's pagans hanging out in the Capitol dome. In the pantheon, the grand prize is not what we thought. Yeah, a lot of meaning in that one.
Great song. Yeah, it's a good one. I like it.
Yeah, I think the reason why I chose that instrumental was because of the acoustic guitar. I would swear that the guy's playing a Martin acoustic guitar in that song. I had a friend that used to play a Martin quite a bit, and it's unfortunate that friend from years back that he's also a musician and all that, and things get weird, people get weird, it's just it happens.
Yeah.
And I stepped away, I just took a step back.
Yeah, I've had friends that have been in bands, and I've heard some pretty crazy stories.
And because let's face it, everything is really, really polarized, and I normally wouldn't give two shits or give a care, the old way of thinking, follow Grateful Dead, don't care about all that shit and stuff, but times change, and you care to one degree or another and all that, and while still being a chameleon.
Well,
And a court jester.
I hear what you're saying, Bear. I mean, sometimes your gut, you get, it feels like you get punched, in that one rib that kind of, gives you that tingle, and you're like, fuck, man, I can't ignore it. I can't ignore it.
Yeah.
I see it, it's like those old cartoons where the guy whacks his thumb with a giant mallet and you see a giant red thumb. And am I supposed to ignore the giant red thumb? I see a giant red thumb. Maybe it's better for my mental health to ignore the giant red thumb, but I see a fucking giant red thumb right now.
Yeah.
Have a good one, Kick.
The giant, good night, Kick. The giant pink elephant that keeps on stepping on everyone's toes.
That's one of them. He's still got 9 other fingers, Yep.
And one of those that elephant's toes just happens to be a red thumb.
Indeed.
Isn't it like 7 years of bad luck if you break a mirror?
Technically, yeah.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, you notice that they're talking about 7 years more.
Huh?
I'm beginning to think there might be some mission creep happening here.
Sort of like what happens in a video game.
Yeah, you go into a cave, you think it's 5 minutes, it ends up being an hour and a half. Yeah.
I've experienced some things. You go hiking on a trail, and you get lost for a little while, and then all of a sudden, and especially when I was clean shaven, I come out with more stubble on my face than I had when I went in, and I'd be like, okay, something interesting happened. Because sometimes when you go for a walk, a little walkabout in the woods and a trail and all that. And, you go back in time kind of a little bit, you know, uh, energy of the land, stuff like that, the trees and all that stuff. And walking by the side of a creek. And I sometimes, I don't wonder, I'm pretty sure that the creek has a memory, the tree has a memory, the land has a memory, the blade of grass has a memory. And maybe it's because I pick up on that stuff that I'm good. That's what helps me write songs, and I don't know, kind of translate a little bit. And you can feel those things and those vibrations, and everything's got vibrations and all that stuff. Pick up on those, the positive, what few positive vibrations they are, and pull them out and bring them to the surface, and share them,
Well,
have fun with them.
absolutely. And what you mentioned, getting in touch with nature. I mean, that
Hmm.
goes a long way to connecting you to the broader world, and getting you out of your myopathy to see only
Right.
the human problems and what happens in a city, only being around other people. You see how much larger the world is when you go for a
Right.
hike and you get out into nature.
And see, what's going to end up happening is, you know, normally people gather together and they talk, and so you got the pink elephant that steps on everyone's toes that want to talk, and but you see, there's other ways to get around that, and so the pink elephant stepped on the toes of all the other mediums that talk with one another, and so it gets to a point to where people start writing songs, translate those feelings.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, exactly.
Oh,
And
for sure. Yeah. I mean, you
and
can't tell me that.
so the pink elephant discourages the conversation, you know, and so you got words you can't say. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be like that. Shouldn't be like that. And
It
so that's
shouldn't.
why you um it's like almost like um singing a song to undo the spell. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? As I flicker.
Well, it's so ironic what's happening now with the cancel culture and canceling, because
Yeah.
Hollywood was the subject of the blacklist back in the 50s. And, I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
and then when you're talking about, targeting people based on,
I that movie Hail Caesar? That movie is a really good example of how cutthroat and ruthless Hollywood was back in those days and still is. And
Yeah.
how that corporate side of that culture was in a lot of ways not really great, but in a lot of ways it produced some really really great works of art. And but you can get a real good idea on how cutthroat back in the day it was for Hollywood. And the blacklists. That's what reminds me of that movie, Hail Caesar.
Well, you think of like so many of those old movie stars. I mean, how many of them didn't make it though? Because of how rough everything was back then.
A lot, a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sure there are stories of Hollywood actors that became legends. Only difference is they became legends after they were gone. They didn't make any money really off of what they did. I'm
I
sure
mean,
there's plenty of stories like that.
well, I'm pretty sure that there was somebody at one point that actually compared the Hollywood machine to like a meat grinder.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Hell Caesar, there was some pretty good examples of the meat grinder going on in that movie. Because Hell Caesar, I think it was like the 1945, 1950 era of Hollywood they were showing in that movie. Good movie.
Been a while. I have to watch it again.
Yeah, the pink elephant wants to interrupt connections and the things where, but you see, you can't interrupt spirit. You just can't. It's gonna happen. It's gonna connect. Can't stop it. Can't stop spirit from doing what it wants to do, and it's gonna do what it wants to do, and you can't stop it. And so it'll happen one way or another.
They can only try to cancel so much, and they can only try to stop so much until eventually the ship is going to wind up righting itself. It's always done it in the past, and it'll do it again. It's inevitable. It's going to set everything the way that it should be eventually. And no matter how hard they try to stop it, they're not going to be able to. It's basically like they're trying to contain a tsunami, and there's no way that they could stop it forever. They could hold it back for a little bit with sandbars and everything else, but eventually they're going to get run right over by it.
Yeah, there's an old saying, in a tornado, a piece of log can go through a 3-foot cement wall or something like that. Ain't no stopping it.
Oh,
That's
well,
what's gonna happen.
there's stories of hurricanes and everything else where the forces were so strong with the winds that it actually took a plastic straw and embedded it into a telephone pole. So
Yeah, a straw, a straw you drink from, or a piece of straw from a haystack.
I thought it was a piece of straw from a
in a
haystack is what I
hurricane
thought it
or
was.
in a tornado, it can freaking kill you.
well, I heard the one about a plastic drinking straw. So
I thought it was a piece of straw from like a
And
piece of wheat or something.
I used to have dreams about tornadoes when I was a teenager. That's where one of my songs has a hurricane. The hurricane mentioned that, I believe, a tornado going down Main Street. Yeah, it wasn't Main Street. It was Samuelson. I was dreaming about it. Me and my dad were sitting in the car. We watched our tornado go down Samuelson. We were parked at the apartments that a buddy of mine lived at, and we were parked facing out, and it was just a 2-lane small town road, and kind of out in the country, most people would think it, and a tornado going down the street, and about as wide as the street, wasn't damaging the street at all, and it was just going. It went, and I was just like, interesting.
you see what Toxic said?
Let's see. This one.
Yeah.
I watch Tech Guy in Odyssey, who does privacy content. He owns his own VPN. The government was probing how to shut down a Tor VPNs last week, so they are trying. Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. Don't doubt it. Yeah. I don't know. I find a lot of things very interesting lately. It is just off the scale crazy. All the different types of energy bouncing everywhere. It's nuts, man. It is nuts out there.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, and there's certain stores I'll go to and stuff like that.
Yeah, the few times that I get the chance to go out to some of these stores, and you could just see the look of terror in everybody's eyes as they're walking around, because they are just so believed that one wrong breath, or taking that mask off one time, and that's going to be it for them. Like these people are really buying into this to the point that they think they're going to drop dead on the spot because they're so scared. I mean, It says something when you take a whole population,
And
like the world over, and you put them in fear like that.
And regular everyday people that know people, they're reporting the people that are getting the jab are getting sick.
Mm-hmm. Some
and
have
not
died.
doing. Yeah, I was just gonna say they're not doing very well at all. And so it's like, yeah, okay, nope.
California gets a really bad rap, but living in quote, red California, it's kind of refreshing because the little community that I live in California, it's very red. And, I've not had any of those issues you guys are talking about. Here it's like very anti, what the lefties would call anti-masker up here. And it's like, they don't give a fuck. They're like, hey man, you don't want to wear a mask. You don't have to wear a mask. I mean, they'll have the signs up for whatever the local health office says to do. But for the most part, it's like, whatever. But, if you go to my hometown of Sacramento, south of here, different story.
Man, when you want to get right down to it and get to the nitty gritty, the battle between the light and dark has been going on for centuries. Yep. Oh, and it's going to continue to go on. It's just a never-ending cycle. It's just going to happen. And but light always wins out in the end, because there's always light at the end of the tunnel eventually.
Well, I mean, you have crooks and liars, that are running things right now. Right. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to trust one another when they're crooks and liars? I mean,
well,
eventually they have to eat their own, because
there's one thing in the history of the United States that has been a very interesting thing. And the one thing that they always forget about. Just because the mafia are criminals doesn't mean they're not patriotic. Never forget that. Never forget that. That's all I'm going to say. Yep. And throughout history, criminal organizations have been very patriotic. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I would say, yeah, definitely. All right, let's play a couple more songs, and Tommy's gotta get going.
Ready?
Let's see here. Land of the Wolf, what do you think? Shall we bump the next one?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Rock on.
Let's see here. I think we'll go with that. There we go. Rock and roll. Rock. It's overwhelmed. It'll take a second. There we go. The wind comes off the water. It can take you back. Rock and roll was rock and roll. You know the river goes by. Up the hill, down the hill, across town, through the woods, walking in the green grass. There's blues in the water, dripping from the tree. Tree to tree, life-giving force, follow the course. Maybe you'll find a horse, makes it all go round and round. Hit the ground rolling, down the hill, then do it again, and again. Looking into the distant future, blue eyes shining back, bright as the sky, wandering the land around the world. Rock and roll, the wind comes off the water. It can take me back, and rock and roll was rock and roll. You know the river goes by, up the hill, down the hill, across town, through the woods, walking in the green grass. There's blues in the water, dripping from the tree. Tree to tree, life-giving force, follow the course. Maybe you'll find a horse. Maybe makes it all go round and round till it hits the ground, rolling down the hill. Then do it again and again and again and again. Looking into the distant future, blue eyes shining back bright as the sky, wandering the land around the world. Rock and roll was rock and roll, the wind comes off the water. It can take you back. Rock and roll was rock and roll. You know the river goes by, up the hill, down the hill, across town, through the woods, walking in the green grass. There's blues in the water, dripping from the tree. Tree to tree, life-giving force, follow the course. Maybe you'll find a horse, makes it all go round and round. Hit the ground rolling down the hill, then do it again and again and again and again. Looking into the distant future, blue eyes shining back bright as the sky, wandering the land around the world. Rock and roll was rock and roll, the wind comes off the water. Woo! Mist in the light. Stop it. Rock and roll was rock and roll was rock. There we go. Jeez.
Oh man.
Mist in the I hate the fact that those buttons move.
Yeah.
I got it muted now. It's driving me nuts. There we go. All right. Man, that drives me nuts. Those buttons move like that. Yeah.
Always in motion, the future is.
Yes. 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 All right, Tommy, tell them what you got going on.
No, same old, same old. Working on the house, cleaning things up, doing a couple of videos of some of the things that I found. I've just about got them done. Got thumbnails that I'm working on to hopefully be able to get them up starting tomorrow. I'm going to try to set up a few days worth this coming week, hopefully, if I can. Also going to do some talk about some of the really cool retro toys that I've seen out there. It's something that I actually started working on like about 2 weeks ago, maybe even longer, because it was right around the same time that I did the Masters of the Universe retro discussion, like a comparison between the new retro He-Man that they had for 2020 and salute and the old school He-Man from the 80s, and just where they hit it right and where they missed. But there's a lot of other toys that I've seen that just recently came out that they're paying a lot of respect to the old stuff, and it's really cool to see. So I'll be doing a little bit of a talk about that. And just the normal everyday
Good stuff.
stuff. If I find something that I want to just rant about, I'm just going to throw it up there. Maybe I'll have
Yeah.
Cringer do it because few people actually enjoyed hearing Cringer speak about stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Got to get the collective more involved.
Cringer, the attack guinea pig.
Yes.
Right.
It's
Oh,
a shame that he's the one getting his ass kicked right now.
Yep.
The younger one is like just bullying him.
Hmm.
But what a name like Cliff Jumper, I mean, it's not really surprising.
Indeed.
Let's see here. Yeah, we got a lot of snow outside the house today. The past couple of days.
I would like to not see any more until I get back home. I'd like to get back home and then it could snow up here all at once.
The last time we had snow around here, man, it's been 5, 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And we don't get it very often around here. Mostly it's just rain.
I bet.
Rain and lots of rain. When more rain, then more rain.
Craziness. But all right,
Wow.
gentlemen,
Oh, good night.
you have a good
Good night,
evening.
man. You have a good one.
Everybody in the chat, you take care, RR. I'm not sure if Parrothead is still here. Toxic. Was Parrothead here? Usually I see him.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keck 44 was here earlier and had the bounce, and Mikhail Wolf was here earlier. Y'all take
So it's-
care. See you all next time.
Hey,
Night, my
man, thanks
friend.
for coming on, brother, man. You
Oh,
have a
man,
good
it's
one.
always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on, Bear, and always a pleasure talking with you and Wes both. You guys are awesome. Make sure,
Thank you.
if you're not subscribed to everybody, that you are and pass that word along.
Oh, yeah.
More
yeah.
people really need to find these guys.
I hit 360 today.
Oh, Tyler Mango.
All right.
Hey, take care, buddy.
Hey,
Awesome.
Mango.
Good night.
So yeah,
All right,
Wes,
guys.
if you got a little bit left in, yeah, I got a little left in me. I know I'm gonna have a couple more drinks.
I may need more whiskey, but I think I may.
All right.
Yeah.
Because this stream's about fun, all that, and so
Oh,
let's have it.
there's a lot of that. Popcorn, folks. Popcorn.
Popcorn, plenty of popcorn,
Oh yeah.
and I think all of us owed each other a Coke at least once or twice. All three of us actually did. We said the same thing at the same time.
Having
I
Gatorade.
don't know if you caught that.
No.
We all said at the same time. I'm like, oh, that was cool. Yeah. So yeah, the G.I. Joe that we watched, man, there was so much future foreshadowing. Cast in the Shadows, how you doing, man?
Hail, cast in the shadows. Welcome, my friend. Yeah, there was a lot of either predictive programming or red pilling happening in that cartoon.
Oh yeah,
And so,
the episode "The Wrong Stuff,"
yeah,
season 1, episode 49. Man, that was a lot of shows. About 22 minutes long, average.
Yeah, I mean, look at what we have now versus what we had then, and then look at the writing versus what we have now. It's
Oh, freaking quality, man.
That was a kids show, and that is very good. It's not just for kids, but for adults as well. It was very well done.
Yeah.
And
I was getting a kick out of the Cobra TV programming, sort of like re-education camps on TV. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, that was the point of it. What was to show the danger and how that relates to the technology of the world you're living in at the time. And
right. Would they ever warn of a thing today? No.
Well,
they'd have to be really subtle.
Yeah, and there was so much happening back then that allowed for that. The latchkey kid phenomenon, and kids being alone without their parents, and that being the medium for them to learn. It's nuts. And they really cared. They really wanted kids of that era to know what kind of world they would be growing up to live in. When, yeah, it was a very good show for sure.
Oh yeah, man. There was all kinds of stuff going on in that one. And it's like, how much foreshadowing can 22-minute cartoon hold? Apparently a lot. Man, there was stuff in there that you would take a whole movie to catch, and it was packed into a 22-minute G.I. Joe cartoon.
Oh yeah, great writing. It was amazing.
And the fact that it's called the wrong stuff.
It is. There's
Very,
a lot of Easter eggs in that episode
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, yeah. The mind
I mean,
control.
it's foreshadowing Space Force. It's foreshadowing censorship. It's foreshadowing mass control by computers, AI, algorithms, all that stuff. It's all in that
Mhm.
episode. All of it.
Yep. Oh yeah, that is for sure. Um, yeah, I went on a James Garner movie watchathon, and I watched Support Your Local Sheriff, and then I discovered that Support Your Local Gunfighter. Watch that one, and I think there was a couple others I checked out, and I was taking a break from all other things, and because sometimes you just got to do that. You got to just sit back and forget about everything and delve into something else. And that was kind of cool. I like James Garner. He was a great actor, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, the Cobra Commander and the symbolism and the mind control symbolism in the cartoon and the bad guys portraying what they're gonna do, and their telecasting, broadcasting what their plans are.
Oh yeah,
Cobra broadcast his plans,
absolutely. There's a lot
sort
in there.
of like a mirror of what's going on in the world. They announce what they're gonna do.
Oh
It's
yeah,
funny.
absolutely.
It's
Yep.
funny. It's a movie show, and people are sitting back. Um, those that know the movie's going on got their popcorn. They're watching the show because you got to sit back and just take a double take on it, and just like, wow, we are literally in our own times living in a movie show.
Yep. Wow. I mean,
Oh
yeah.
man, the symbolism, that is no joke, man. Because I didn't really watch it until all of us got in the yard. We all watched it together real quick, and
Yep.
that way I'd have a. It's been years since I've seen any GI Joe, and I've seen all of them, but it's been years. Stanley Kubrick wrote the episode. No wonder. Everything makes sense. Yeah, the esoteric symbolism. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same dance, same cha-cha. Just got the key changes every now and then, and the dance
Yep.
step changes, and that's about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I don't when I start to when I tune out and away from social media a little bit, I don't tune completely out, um, because there's fun aspects of social media that I like, that I do, that I don't stop doing. And if I'm like taking a break, I maintain my social contacts and all my chats and stuff like that. And so I like to have fun in those ways, and sort of like insulate myself from what's going on in the world and just take a break. You just have to. because I don't know how. I don't know what your method is, Wes, when you take a break from social media.
Well, usually my breaks are pretty much a break from everything when I do it, but uh, man, I find like a good week and a half is what I need when I disconnect.
Yeah, it's for me. It's normally anywhere from 2 to 4 days.
Well, you're more disciplined than I am.
Because sometimes I'll go through uh 2 days of creativity, writing stuff down, doing stuff. 2 days of research on other stuff, things that go bump in the night and all the goings ons and stuff like that. And then I'll take a couple days to watch interesting things and see what I'm going to do for the show. And I go in cycles like that, so that way I'm not overwhelming myself.
Well, I guess I need to learn from your example because I'm much worse than that. So, yeah,
Yeah, bits and pieces. I find that bits and pieces work real good.
indeed.
And the one thing that helps is you got to watch shit that's funny. That's important.
Well, even the really bad shit that wasn't very good or considered very good, if you look at it today, yeah, it's better written than anything, Star Trek Discovery or in that vein. It's we've lost our humanity, is what I'm saying.
This is true. Very true. And you know a good show that is really funny and it'll help you um, get away from the aspect of a little chunk of reality. If you want to get away from it, is the show Disjointed. It's about a cannabis dispensary in California, and they make fun of woke stuff in that show. Believe it or not, they really do.
Well,
It's and it's almost silly beyond silly funny. It's almost beyond that point. It's almost unbearable. But right now, something like that's really needed. It's really freaking funny. And so yeah, that's a good. If you wanna have a laugh, because that's definitely a show you can laugh at, big time.
well,
And when is this? The is it what March 18th? The Snyder Cut's going to be coming out.
I think so. Yeah.
Um, I thought I heard that we're supposed to get a preview tomorrow. I thought I heard something like that.
Well, I thought we already had with Steppenwolf.
I haven't. I haven't been keeping tabs. I get stuck in song making world, and I tend to not notice some things that are going on. I focus on one thing, and then I'll focus on another, and yeah, it's kind of how I do
So,
things.
probably good for your mental health for sure.
Yeah, and I am ADHD, and I can only focus on a few different things at one time without losing sanity from it. Can drive you nuts because I can follow close to three conversations at once, Um, basically, I think it was over a year ago, I was doing a live stream. I was chatting in another live stream while doing my own live stream, and chatting in two different other live streams at the
Wow.
same time. And while holding conversation with you and everybody else, I was doing that at the same time.
Well, that's impressive.
And
I've
listening and also listening to another live stream in my ear from my phone. So I knew what was being said in that one. Man, that was my limit. It almost drove me nuts.
well, I've been told I have a one-track mind. I'm OCD, which is different. It's like I focus on the one thing, and until it's resolved, I'm just like gonna focus on it and stay on it. And OCD is very different from ADHD. Yeah, and I'm just like some
I
people
got a
call it
little of
being
that.
stuck on stupid. It's like
It's got to
whatever it
be a
is. I'm
certain
like
way, right?
I'm stuck here. I need to be I need this to be resolved. And if it's not resolved, if it's just like let it go or whatever, I'm not content with that. I have to see a resolution. So being OCD is different from being ADHD for sure.
Well, I definitely got some OCD going on, but I have the version, pick your battles version. I know when to back away from it. It's not easy.
Oh, well, my old age I am, but
Like
not, I mean,
it's like the little things like there's certain things that I used to do all the time, and there was a pattern. I would always do it, and one of them was when I'd pack a pack of cigarettes and I'd take the plastic off. I'd wrap the plastic from the top off in the string that came, that little string, wrap it around it, and then stick it inside the paper of the box. And the foil, same thing, roll it up and stick it back in the paper. And it was a habit that I got into because of not throwing stuff on the ground and stuff. But it became this OCD thing that I would do. And so what I did was I stopped doing it, to break myself from it. And that was definitely one of those OCD kind of things.
yeah, I guess a lot of people have those. Now I think about it.
And I broke it. I stopped doing it.
Well, I think everybody has some sort of OCD,
Right.
kind of behavior they indulge in.
So yeah, there's I thought I seen something on I just picked up Green Lantern. Was it the extended cut, director's cut? I just got it on Vudu.
With Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, because I guess the director's cut just became available, or the extended cut.
Yeah. Well,
And so I don't have the regular version because I've seen the regular version a few different times, and so I got the extended cut because yeah, okay, I'll check that out.
well.
Now, R, that depends on how many topics back that was.
Whoa.
I covered a few.
Well, it's a rainy, stormy day here in Northern California right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, let me see here.
Well, it was earlier.
Let me send myself some snowy pictures, and I'll show you guys what the snow looks like over here. There's got to be a better way to access your pictures than have to go through all that. You know, smartphones used to separate your pictures that you took from your gallery. Now it just blends everything together, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Well,
And, you know, around here, there's one thing you don't see very often: an icicle hanging off of a street lamp.
wow.
Seriously.
That would be unusual.
Kind of why I took a photo of it.
Wow. Yeah, we had some rain today. Very weird. Usually things are warming up by this time.
So rain's a little unusual.
Yeah. Yeah, till March or April.
Yeah, I think over a foot of snow has fallen so far, and that's really unusual for here. So yeah, that's an icicle hanging off of the lamp.
Wow.
Yeah, a good 9-inch icicle. Because
Is that in
that's the edge of the property of the apartments right there. It's one of those home jobbies they put up. It's about maybe 14, 13 feet off the ground. A little basic fence pole with a light capper on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what's weird. In the Midwest, apparently they were retrofitting the traffic lights with LEDs. And one of the considerations that was different in the Midwest, where there's a lot of snow, versus other parts of the country, was that the old incandescent lights melted the snow when snow would accumulate on the light, the traffic
Yep.
signal, and the LEDs run so cold that didn't happen. So you had snow covering the actual traffic light, and so what seemed like a good thing ended up being a bad thing, in that the traffic lights in the Midwest, because of the LEDs, the warmth from the incandescent light wasn't melting the snow, so you couldn't see the actual traffic signal.
Yeah, they don't really have that problem out in Western Washington. Probably in Eastern Washington because there's lots of snow on that side. That side of the state. It gets cold there.
Yeah, but I found that kind of fascinating.
Yeah, basically you'd have to have street lights that were probably heated because there's places where it snows out and gets real cold, and the accumulation of snow on the light itself can dim the light or make you not be able to see it.
Well, apparently their their solution was to keep the LEDs but install heaters on the on the light fixtures to melt the snow. So
yeah, it's been 32 degrees here since 10, and it's now 12:12.
Wow,
It was 27 yesterday, and boy was the snow falling.
pretty cold. Yeah.
We went. Me and the wife went out for a cigarette out in the snow, and seeing the picture where the tire tracks are crossing the one tire tracks. We walked out about there, and of course, I cleared OCD. I cleared a spot where I can stand and have a cigarette, and the snow was like real super fine powder falling out of the sky, and we're talking about a snowboarder and skiers, absolute optimum snow that was falling, perfect snow for skiing. It was powdery and it stuck, and so that's optimal for skiing and snowboarding because it was coming down like fine powder out of the sky, and the stuff that was hitting the ground, it would stick a little. Because the skiing joints around this place here, if they're open, should be making bank.
Yeah, I bet.
Because
Wow.
I guarantee you, from here to the mountains, it's snowing.
Yeah, very cool picture.
Let's see. I think I sent another. Yeah, and the icicle. No, that's about it. I'd have to send myself another. But yeah, around here when it snows, the people around here that drive, they act like the world's coming to an end if just a few inches start falling. But there's been over a foot of snow, I think, that has fallen. And if a half foot of it wouldn't have melted, there'd probably be a little over a foot of snow on the ground. I haven't even gone out to the van to clean the van off because I'm not. Nope. No, I'm gonna wait.
Well, I'm better than most in those situations, but yeah, everybody else, snow comes, they're not used to it. That's not good.
Yeah, and honestly, um, the blowing cold rain don't make me ache as bad because I've lived in it and I'm used to it. It's the cold snow that makes my bones ache. And snow started falling. I started getting achy, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's definitely snow. But but being out in the wet for hours on end, that's probably not good. Got to be dressed warm for that kind of weather. When you're out in the wet in the Pacific Northwest in the wintertime, normally winter is wet, not white, not snow, but it does happen. It does happen.
Yeah.
Because right now, it is not snowing. It says it has the potential for it, but it's not snowing. Earpiece is. Yeah, it is funny. I grew up in Indiana snowstorms, northern Indiana snowstorms, and my dad taught me how to drive downhill in a snow-covered street. Curb your wheels and just go down slow, and you rub your tire against that curb, and you'll get down the hill.
Wow.
And it's kind of funny around here because there's hills everywhere in Western Washington. Everything's hilly, and when it snows, um, some roads, some hills, they can be treacherous in snow sometimes. And so I know all the roads that has the least amount of hill if I got to get to somewhere in the snow. And because around here, snow can be dangerous because some of the roads are huge hills, and they don't really salt the roads out here. I mean, they actually salted the roads the other day because they thought there was going to be black ice. And the only time they salt the roads is when they think there might be some black ice, because it got into freezing temperatures and it was still raining during those freezing temperatures, and so they put it down.
Wow.
So when I see salt on the roads over here, I know to be extra careful, because they think there's black ice out there if they put the salt down. And black ice is freaking dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
I had to drive on black ice once. Hey, Geeks Enjoyed Neurotica, how you doing?
Hail.
It took me an hour to get home what normally is a 5-minute drive on black ice, because I was literally first gear and second gear, and it was slow going, and because there was at least 1 inch of ice on the road, 1 to 2 inches of ice. Because what happened was it was a December, and it started raining, and it started sleeting and raining at the same time, and it went on for a couple hours. And so there was this coating of ice on everything. And I was lucky that my Toyota Corolla didn't have a handle. I had a bar on the inside of the hole of the door that I pushed down, and the door opened. And so no handle to freeze on that. So that's how I was able to open the Toyota Corolla, the 82 I had, and then get the ice scraper and start busting all the ice off the windshield here and there, and let the car warm up for at least 45 minutes.
Wow.
With the heat blowing and all that, and then finally get rolling down the road very slowly. Oh man. You know what a country block is? It's huge.
No.
It takes me about 5 minutes to get home on a country block. 5-6 minute drive, because you're doing mostly 50 mile an hour country block.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Bing, bing, bing. You just did a country block. And as the crow flies, it wasn't very far across all the fields and all that, because it was farm country out there amongst the hills. And so it took me freaking hour to get home.
Well, we have that with fog up here. It gets real foggy, and you'll have to roll down your window and stick your head out to hear what's going on, so you don't crash into somebody ahead of you. And not being able to see over the hood of your car, it takes a special skill to be able to drive in that weather.
Yeah, we get some pretty gnarly fog here too, because we've got the Black River Valley and we got the Nisqually River Valley, and when the warm and cold temperatures meet each other, it can be hairy, man. It really can.
Yep.
Fog is a dangerous thing, because not only can the fog be dangerous, the fog, if it drops down a certain temperature, the fog can actually make black ice on the road.
Yeah, can.
Especially around here in some places. A lot of the times the black ice was created by the fog.
Yeah, I believe it.
She's unforgiving dance partner. Black ice, yeah. Yeah. But you see, what I really love about the Pacific Northwest, in the middle of the winter, you'll get maybe if you're lucky, about a week of 60-degree day, sunshine weather. And with the saltwater humidity, it feels pretty freaking warm after experiencing 40-degree, 45-degree rainy winter. And you'll get maybe a 50-degree in there, fluctuating back and forth. But man, it's beautiful. All the green, sunshine, and yeah, it's like you ain't seen sun in freaking weeks. In some cases, this is true. In some cases.
Yeah, I bet.
Let's see here. So yeah, you can now share a video file and play it. But if that video file happens to be a 4K, it'll put stress on the bolts and nuts.
Wait, a video file from where?
You know how you can share your screen? Well, you can also there's a new thing right above it. You can
Well,
click
yeah,
video
but
file.
where do you get the video file?
It's in one of your folders on your computer. That's what I
Well,
did.
but they already kind of have that with the brand section. So I don't know.
Oh, this is just it'll just play it direct to your screen. It's like a direct interface. Kind of cool. But that's why it was
That's
glitchy.
what the quarter roll does that already.
Yeah, that's a different function. This is a new function. It's on the share button. It's something new. I've never seen it before.
Wow. Didn't know.
Yeah. And it doesn't actually upload it. It just plays it. Kind of cool.
Yeah, maybe I should take advantage.
All right, tell them what you got going on. And after that, we'll play one song and we'll say adieu.
Well, I am Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast. I talk about pop culture, current events, occasional conspiracy theories, occasional car talk, gaming streams, and a little vlog about whatever the heck I want to, because it is my webcast. Hope to see you there, my friends. Thank you.
Hail.
Hail.
Hail indeed. So, yeah, I haven't seen you around too often, Geeks Enjoy Nerdotica. Been a little while, I think. How you been? RR, thank you for being awesome as usual. Mikhail Wolf, thanks for stopping by. Toxic Man Flu, thank you. Tyler Mongo, Keck, you went to bed. And Rowan and all the rest of you that stopped in. I can't scroll up no more.
Hail.
All right, we'll play this song and then we'll say good night. Let me know if you can hear this.
Yep.
Okay.
Rays shining down, golden leaves floating by. I was recollecting soaking in the blue sun, bursting from the rainbow. Saturday times for twice in the sky. Saw the shadow in the oak tree it made for, looking for the door, looking for that bittersweet joy. Hello, in the shadow of the blue sun, fly across the silver linings, running, turning round, stepping into the trance, merge the dance, merge with the ancient ones, move across, move back to golden autumn days, in the sunshine, dance and chance.
What's up?
What's up?
Mid your glance sparkle in the eye, drive through the night under the starlight. We knew it was great. Time to be on the dance floor. Reminds me of a time before. It was in my
Salud.
eye.
Hail.
Seen it there before. I've been flying through the gears, magic in a magical land. I've seen before, all the way to the core. All the way to the core. All the way into the core. Mist in the light of day. Mist in the light of day. Rain shining down, golden leaves floating by. I was recollecting, soaking in the blue sun. Bursting from the rainbow, Saturday times full, twice in the sky. Saw the shadow in the oak tree it made for. Looking for the door, looking for the bittersweet joy. Hello, in the shadow of the blue sun. Flying across the silver linings, running, turning round, stepping into the trance, merge the dance, merge with the ancient ones, move across space, move back to golden autumn days in the sunshine. In the sunshine, dance and chance, made your glance, sparkle in the eye, drive through the night. Under the starlight, we knew it was great. Time to be on the dance floor, reminds me of a time before. It was in my eye, I've seen it there before. I've been flying through the gears, magic in a magical land. I've seen before, all the way to the core, all the way to the core. Mist in the light of day. Rain shining down, golden leaves floating by. I was recollecting, soaking in the sunshine, soaking in the blue sun. Bursting from the rainbow, Saturday times four. Twice in the sky, saw the shadow in the oak tree it made for. Looking for the door, looking for that bittersweet joy. Hello, in the shadow of the blue sun, flying across silver linings, running round, turning round, stepping into the trance. Merge the dance, merge with the ancient ones, move across space, move back to the golden autumn days in the sunshine. In the sunshine, dance and chance, made your glance sparkle in the eye. Drive through the night, under the starlight, we knew it was great. Time to be on the dance floor.
As they say, that is that.
Hail.
I'll wait till the buttons stop moving this time.
Buttons.
Yeah, buttons. The buttons that move. Every man's nightmare, right?
Yep. Whoa.
Yeah. 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 Hey, Wes, you should have like 4 special shots really quick.
Huh? For what?
4 special shots really quick.
Oh yeah, that might not be a bad idea. I think I have
Yeah,
some in
yeah.
the refrigerator over there.
Hey,
Mhm.
roar. What's up? What's up, Drew? How you doing, man?
I think that's what he was saying. Could be wrong.
Yeah, we got
Hail Drew.
we got an invite. I do believe. Yeah. Yeah, I sent you a DM about it. Well, salute.
Hail. Boy, I think I've well crossed that alcoholic threshold here with the amount of booze I've had tonight, but I enjoyed every minute of it. So, hail.
Me and alcohol, we're a little different. Especially cognac, it's definitely different. It's a whole different animal. I don't know if you can even. It's definitely alcohol, but it really shouldn't be classified as alcohol because it's like a vapor almost. It's instant. It's like instant alcohol to the brain. It feels like sometimes aphrodisiac almost. And I love drinking scotch, but I gotta say I really love drinking cognac. It's there's something about it, man. The fact that I like the woodsy caramels
Yep.
in the background flavors. I even sometimes I must be getting phantom flavor every now and then. I get a little bit of a Pete. Hey, what's up, man?
What's
Hey,
going
Drew.
on, man?
How's it going?
Well,
cognac.
I've achieved a new level, Wes. I got compared by some leftist today to Joseph Goebbels.
Wow.
What?
Yeah,
How?
That's a serious insult.
some leftist compared me to Joseph Goebbels
Wow,
because
that's a whole level above armband wear.
yeah,
Yeah, indeed.
because I was explaining to him, I said, he had made some snide comment to me, and I said, well, hey, listen, enjoy your new police state. And he said, oh, that's very Joseph Goebbels of you. so yeah, apparently I'm now comparable to Joseph Goebbels. So I've made it in the world.
Well, there's let's see here, a whole bunch of what we call buyer's remorse going on.
Oh man, there's a whole lot of TDS restarted today.
Oh,
it's just like,
man.
God.
I started last Friday. I basically I avoided anything news.
Yeah.
Things always moving and grooving.
Yeah.
Damn buttons.
Mikhail Wolf, I don't think the guy did know his history. He was just popping off at the mouth. But listen, I've been arguing with leftists on Twitter, I think, for probably about the better half of 48 hours now. So
what's up, CJ? How you doing?
It's just it's been crazy. They did not take too kindly to my characterization of. I had replied to the Daily Wire post about Gina getting her new opportunity. There were a bunch of leftists in the comments trashing her, and I replied to it. And they did not like in my reply where I described, I said, well, I said the woke mongoloids won't like this. But I am very happy that Gina Carano is getting another opportunity. Well, needless to say, they didn't like the characterization I used. So they do not like the word mongoloid. So,
well, actually, Drew, the word mongoloid is actually a scientific term.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it is. But
and me and you are both related to it.
Yeah, well, they corrected me, Bear, and said it's an ableist slur, and it's an anti-Asian slur, and it's a quote outdated term. And the person that I think decided to define it for me, I told them, I said, well, I guess you can put that in the terms, in the unacceptable terms of 2020 bank that you have in the leftist hall of records. Thank you. That's what I told them.
Absolutism. Absolutism.
Oh man, I am telling you, the fucking mental midgets that I have dealt with on Twitter the past 48 hours are crazy. And they've come after me like mad since I made that post.
I've seen a few here and there.
Yeah.
When I do when I take a break from like news and just certain things, I don't ignore my social media in my social circles, because that's where the fun's at. You know, that's where I'm joking around with my friends and all that stuff. But when it comes to news stuff, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it was no news, no nothing, just a couple cool things here and there, watching some Star Wars and watching some Star Trek, and a little bit of Babylon 5 here and there.
Well, hail RR, hail CJ, hail geeks enjoying Nerdrotica, hail the Toxic Man Flu. Great to see you, buddy. You know, yeah, I'm having actual amusement and fun really triggering these people now, and just absolutely just engaging with them because they're so brain dead and they're so just these woke zombies, and it's hilarious just to sit there and try to point stuff out to them. Because I think there was somebody attacking my nerdy home, and I chimed in on that one, and I said, you know, I said, well, you do realize critical race theory is garbage. I said all that social justice construct is built on a house of cards. Well, they didn't like that statement. I oh, man, I'm just, dude, Bear, I'm just like stepping in it left and right. But I'm done shutting up. I'm done shutting up. I'm just letting it rip now. I don't care.
Hey, good night, Toxic Man Flu. Thanks for stopping by. You have a good night.
You know, I mean,
apparently he has a ton of snow to move.
Yeah.
I take it you drive a plow truck.
Either he drives a plow truck or he's just got a lot of shoveling to do, which either way, I'd rather be driving the plow truck.
Basically, first you got to shovel yourself way out of the house first, and then get to the plow truck.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done dancing around and tiptoeing around, you know, these leftist fuckers, because all they do is sit there and try to bully, try to domineer, try to sit there and you know, they always, the one thing that they always do, if you notice in their posts, and you guys in the chat, you guys know us because you read Twitter, they always have to be condescending. They always have to make it seem like they have the, you know, knowledge of everything important in the world. Every single time, and they come at you in a condescending tone like they're trying to speak to a child. That is the thing that bugs the shit out of me.
Well, once upon a time, I had friends that had got educations, and then they thought they were smarter than me because they got those educations.
Yeah.
And that condescending stuff.
Yeah.
You
know where I'm coming from.
That can be tiresome.
Yeah, it is. It is tiresome because
let me tell you, those people that have, I think Wes was tired.
Yeah, I think so too.
Good night, Wes. Have a good one, man.
Good night,
And,
buddy.
So you got all this dumb shit going on, and and basically they can't have a conversation.
Yeah.
There's just no conversation there to be had because
Well, there is no
you
conversation.
got they got two ears, and there's nothing going on between those two ears.
Well, yeah, there is no conversation to be had, Bear, because it's like you said before, it's absolutism, and they don't even want to be open to your point of view anyway. So it's like
So
you're having you'd have a more efficient conversation sitting there talking to your wall.
oh, you'd learn something from the wall more so than the other.
Probably,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's almost like a lost cause trying to even talk to these people, and they use the same straw man arguments when you try to discuss something with them. It always goes back to their point of oppression, this and whatever else that they're spouting, same thing. They always, like the new press secretary said, they always circle back. They love to circle back. And,
who did I hear recently that resigned in the press circle? Someone resigned.
Oh,
I know it wasn't the press secretary, but wasn't it someone under her or something like that?
It might have been.
That's how closely I've been really paying attention to the news. I took a step back from it.
Well, I've been paying attention to the news sparingly. I just, today was great because, I was watching the acquittal. So as soon as it happened, I just jumped on Twitter.
I didn't even watch it. I just paid attention to some headlines here and there.
Oh, I watched the last few minutes when he got acquitted. It was great.
Yeah. I'll probably catch some of the YouTubers that are going to rehash it and talk about it a little later.
Yeah,
because
that was awesome.
Maybe a day or two out of the week, I'll pay a little attention to that stuff and maybe a little bit of news.
But it's hilarious, Barrett started a whole new wave of TDS.
Yeah, and I've taken a lot of steps back, and see these people here. I'm familiar with where they're coming from because I used to have to deal with a lot of hippie mind police who thought they were hippie mind police, and every now and then, my old man, he called me a hippie mind police, and I'm swift about shit, and I know what's going on. I can see things, and so it's the same fucking thing. It's just hippie mind police bullshit, just another form of it. And I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to engage.
No, the wokies are just that's all they are. They're a bunch of they think they know it all, and they're a bunch of bullies. That's exactly what they are. And it's so much fun when you sit there and screw with them and trigger them, and then you own them with a cogent argument, and then they have no comeback,
but
other than to call you names.
Those people, they'll eat themselves. They'll eat their own.
Oh yeah.
So I'm always watching for the moments when they eat their own, and it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, that's
it's hilarious. It's funny watching it unfold because you can see it happening sometimes. And,
yeah.
It's like you can make your case to these people. They think they have the higher ground. However, you need to make the argument for the people listening to you and those people.
Mm-hmm.
They're
the worst type of personality.
Very ignorant, mixed with supreme confidence. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah.
People that think they know something, and in some cases they really don't.
Hey, RR, it's a sheer fucking hubris.
Yeah, I don't even. in order for them to have any hubris, they'd have to have a little bit of intelligence, and they don't even have that. It's the imitation of hubris. It's false bravado. You know.
Bear, they really act like they're in a cult, dude. Seriously,
Yeah, I can see it.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
They have all the classic symptoms of being in a cult. It's nuts. Like they are seriously programmed.
it's all that late 90s and early 2000s early television that a lot of people were consuming and being brainwashed.
Well, no, it's the fucking educational system too, dude.
That too.
Yeah,
That
I
too.
mean, but all that propaganda and shit they swallowed, man, they are so brainwashed. It's not funny, man. And it's like, wow, fuck. How can you? I don't even know how you can like function like that, where like 24/7. All you're doing is looking to jump from social media platform to social media platform and make political points, or to go, I don't even think they go much into public. They just stick around, the internet all day. And it's like, Jesus Christ, how do you function?
If you notice a lot of those, I think you could probably point the finger at some of the later Nickelodeon TV shows.
Probably, yeah, a little bit.
Not so much the early ones, because the early ones were actually good TV shows. They were funny.
Oh yeah,
they were entertaining. But there was a couple that I wouldn't let my kids watch, and it was the ones with the teenagers didn't give a shit about stuff. I didn't let them watch that. And
it's just the thing, like, it's very rare, like, you actually see these people like having like actual social interactions outside the internet, like, like I can still pick up the phone, you guys, and call somebody, call one of my lady friends, or call one of my guy friends, and sit down and make plans, go sit down and have a cup of coffee with them somewhere. And I can leave my phone at home. I don't need my fucking phone with me. I want to talk to my friend. I want to enjoy the company. I don't want to be bothering with my phone. And people forgot how to do that. And especially these people. I mean, Jesus Christ, they can't live without espousing their political agenda every 2 seconds. It's crazy. I mean, shit. And here I am. I still like to just go sit down and bullshit about life and everything. Hell, I barely talk politics when I'm just sitting there bullshitting, having a cup of coffee with a friend.
Yeah. It's a thing. It's a funny thing, a lot of that doesn't happen. But lately, you can't help but have those kind of conversations because of everything is so blatant that's out there.
Well, yeah.
And it's got to the point to where people are getting to the point to where it's like, okay, are they going to arrest me for the meme I just posted? Because someone just not that long ago was arrested for a meme.
Well, it's like I was pointing out to that guy that said I was similar to Goebbels, because I said, I said, look, if you don't see the authoritarian, the move to authoritarianism, I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I said, you have Congress people threatening to put average citizens on lists, and I said AOC did that. I said you have politicians already discussing expanding the Patriot Act, and I said that's happening too. And then I said you have an irregular amount of troops, which, by the way, are in the Capitol now indefinitely, and you don't think we're headed toward a police state?
Well, see, here's the thing. Since the inception of MTV and cable news, they have been it's like this drip of poison
Yeah,
they've been given to everybody through
yeah.
these cable news shows. And you want to go find something that's actual, you'll find it other than the cable news organizations or any of the mainstream media. You won't find anything that's actual. And I have to say it that way because, stupid things,
Well, fuck. Even use your natural instinct to want to find out what's going on. I mean, fucking A. If you have the ability to, just go see for your fucking self. I mean, it's not hard to go and find the truth, because a lot of the times, unless you go see something with your own two eyes, you're probably being bullshitted.
Yeah, I think we're due for another counter revolution in the way of dropping out and tuning into rock and roll. I think we're due for another one, actually.
Oh, I hope so, Bear.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We're due for another era of good rock and roll, tuning out of the bullshit.
I mean, fuck! I can't even find a rock station anymore. It's all this mumble rap garbage and all this.
Oh man,
fucking shit, dude.
I guess I feel fortunate because I have 101.3, which is Olympia Classic Rock Station, and they play some damn good music, I gotta say. And then there's the one that's 100.9 that I listen to. That's another great rock and roll radio station.
I got a bunch of fucking just ugh.
You don't got a classic rock radio station
shit,
in your area? That sucks, man.
Yeah, it fucking blows.
So you literally need to have XM so you can listen to radio stations like XRT from Chicago.
I just listen to my Spotify, man.
Yeah. If you want some good music, man, tune into the 93.1 XRT, WXRT, Chicago radio station.
Yeah.
They play all the good independent rock and roll that's up and coming, stuff like that. They got a bunch of good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if I had XM, I would probably, go back to listening to Liquid Metal.
You can find the XRT on Spotify.
Yeah,
any of the radio apps.
Because Liquid Metal was my shit. That was my stuff for XM. Like when I had XM, that was all I listened to was Liquid Metal. So,
let's see here. What's that movie? Remember the movie Altered States? Remember the guy went and seen tribal elders, and he used the isolation chamber, and he used I don't know if it was peyote or ayahuasca, but
by the way, sorry if you guys heard me fart. For dinner I had sausage and onion pizza. Be glad you ain't here.
we didn't hear it, but thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, be glad you ain't here. Oh man.
So yeah. So why don't we play this here tune?
Oh, I gotta take a piss. I'll be right back.
Sure thing.
So bring on the music.
Y'all hear that? Jefferson made the city. There's pagan gods hanging out in the Capitol dome. In the pantheon, the grand prize is not what we thought. Folks getting buyer's remorse, just a remnant of a forgotten world that was never hidden. It was right there in our faces, the place in need of light. Paul Revere's ghost looks over a forgotten post. Jefferson made the city. There's pagan gods hanging out in the Capitol dome. In the pantheon, the grand prize is not what we thought. Folks getting buyer's remorse, just a remnant of a forgotten world that was never hidden. It was just right there in our faces, place in need of light. Paul Revere's ghost looks over a forgotten post. Jefferson made the city. There's pagan gods hanging out in the Capitol dome. In the pantheon, the grand prize is not what we thought. Folks getting buyer's remorse, just a remnant of a forgotten world that was never hidden. It was right there in our faces, the place in need of light. Paul Revere's ghost looks over a forgotten post. Jefferson made the city. There's pagan gods hanging out in the Capitol dome. In the pantheon, the grand prize is not what we thought. Folks getting buyer's remorse, just a remnant of a forgotten world that was never hidden. The place in need of light. Paul Revere's ghost looks over a forgotten post. Jefferson made the city. There's pagan gods hanging out in the Capitol dome. In the pantheon, the grand prize is not what we thought. Folks getting buyer's remorse, just a remnant of a forgotten world that was never hidden. It was right there in our faces, place in need of light. Paul Revere's ghost looks over a forgotten post. Jefferson made the city. There's pagan gods hanging out in the Capitol dome. In the pantheon, the grand prize is not what we thought.
Yeah, interesting message there. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Always a message. Always.
Yeah, always.
If you've gone deep, go deeper.
Oh, man. man. Barry, when you go back and watch some of the stuff from earlier today, man, boy, when you see like what a bitch and sellout Mitch McConnell is, oh God, you're gonna.
Yeah, I've been seeing some of the headlines. I've been seeing some of the comments on some videos here and there, and
Oof.
a lot of
Man,
folks, not happy. And honestly, I'm at this point to where I'm seeing the left wing and the right wing, and I'm seeing the whole freaking bird, and I can't buy, man. I can't buy into. I just can't. And I'm gonna pay attention to what's going on, and I'll make healthy choices.
well, it's what we've talked about this whole time, dude. It's always the I mean, the president had it right. It was a swamp. It's the fucking establishment. And they hate the normal people, man. 90% of these fucks, all the establishment people, dude, they hate us. It don't matter what side you're on. They hate you.
Well, they don't
because
like anybody.
they're just all about themselves, and they're all about money, and they're all about power. And that's all that they're about. They give two fucks about the people. Hell, they'll look at the shit that they tell you. Well, fucking Biden comes out and said, well, $1,400 will pay somebody's bills for 2 months. Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me, dude? It'll pay.
You see that takeout? Now, there's a couple different places that you can get good takeout.
Right. I understand that.
Pizza
but
pizzazz. Pizza
but you're
pizzazz.
It's
got a huge pizza. And they got a thing called the Mondo. And you can get 3 toppings. And this is what I do. I put 2 layers of pepperoni under the cheese, and I put the 1 layer of pepperoni on top. And their pizzas remind me of a 26-inch pizza that you used to be able to get once upon a time. They're more like 18-inch pizza, but it's 18-inch pizza, man. That's a huge pizza.
Yeah, it is.
And the story the guy told me about this place, and the guy's college educated. He went and got a career in one spectrum, and his mom was like, well, hey, you need a fallback. What do you want to do that you love just in case? And he chose a pizza restaurant. And so he built a pizza restaurant in Renton. And then he built one in Lakewood over here, which isn't too far from me. About a 15-minute, 12-minute drive, depending on I-5 traffic in Fort Lewis. So that can complicate shit. But, $24 and change and a little bit of tax and $25 for 18-inch pizza, 3 toppings. That's not a bad deal. And it's really, really, really good pizza. And I don't say something like that very freaking lightly, because Geeks Enjoy Neurotica made me think about it. Takeout.
Yeah,
there's two places, Pizza Pizzazz or Forelli's.
Yeah,
Only difference is Forelli's has the quarter-size pepperoni, and my son Owen says it's not right. It's got to be the regular size pepperoni.
Yeah, but even with that, it's like fucking A, man. You can't fucking sustain on $1,400 for more than a month. It's just not going to happen. And this is how out of touch they are. They just want to throw you crumbs. They'll be like, all right, peasants, survive. And it's like, fuck you, man. I hate all those establishment fucks. I really do. And we need more just normal anti-establishment people in there that are willing to get shit done. with the people. I'm so glad that populism made a comeback. So, we just need more.
Now, if you're talking about a foot-long hero pepperoni sandwich with some salami and all the fixings, that's what I'm talking about too. Yeah.
Dude, Cameron Pasha posted a bunch of hot chicks on my timeline. I'm looking at that.
And it the foot-long hero sandwich, the old days, the hero sandwiches that our dads talk about, because my dad's from Pittsburgh. And so you got a lot of good influence on a lot of those foods from back east. A lot of those different cultures mixing and stuff like that. Polish food, German food, Irish food, all that coming together, and you got this big smorgasbord of different stuff that gets mixed together. And there's there's so many different types of food out there back east, festivals and all that stuff. You name it, every culture, the Taste of Chicago, there's every culture you can think of that's cooking food, Taste Chicago. You have stuff like that. And that's the stuff that I want to see again. I want to see all that happen again. I want all the pink elephant stupid shit to go back to its corner where it belongs and stop making noise and no longer.
Well, hopefully that'll happen. We just gotta wait and see. But I think it'll get there. But it's going to take some working at it, and it's going to take for us to keep pushing back. We're going to have to push back.
Oh yeah.
Because these after what happened to Gina, these fuckers are really emboldened. They think they can just get rid of anybody.
They've been pushing that yardstick for a long time now, and they've been getting bolder and bolder.
Yep.
Hey, man, no work. How you doing, man?
Yeah, it's like
now. I don't know if you know this, but this song here, this was influenced by Toxic Man Flu. Toxic Man Flu put a really cool, almost pretty much a whole verse, a really cool saying, and he wanted me to use it, and so I used it, and I rearranged it a little bit with some of the other stuff that I wrote into it. But this is the song that was influenced by Toxic Man Flu. And why don't we give it a listen real quick? And
and then I'm gonna hit the bricks because it's like 4 a.m. and
it's 1:11 here.
Out.
Hey, it's 1:11. Can you hear that?
Yep.
Who let the genie out of the bottle? No, put that. Well, facing down the howling with the howling of the storm. The wolves howling back. I clench my jaw as the rain cut my face. Blast in the howling wind. Like blast in the howling wind in the winter storm. Standing up to the greatest foe ever faced. Fear, it was me riding like a wave. Never give in, now you have to pay the price. You gotta deal with all the fallout. You gotta get out, grab a fishing pole and get some soul. Is it you? Is it me? We can see through a fight in the storm of the eye, wandering back. Who let the genie out of the bottle? No, putting it back. Facing down the howling with the howling of the storm. Wolves howling back. I clenched my jaw as the rain cut my face, like the glass in the howling wind. In the winter storm. Funny that. Standing up to the greatest foe, the greatest foe ever faced. Fear. It was me riding like a wave. Never give in now, you have to pay the price. You gotta deal with all the fog, you gotta get out. Grab a fishing pole and get some soul. Is it you? Is it me? We can't see through a flying eye. In the storm of the eye, wandering back. Who let the genie out of the bottle? Putting it back. Facing down the howling wind, the howling of the storm. Bulls howling back. I clench my jaw as the rain cut my face, like the glass in the howling wind. In the winter storm, standing up to the greatest foe ever faced. Fear, it was me riding like a wave. Never give in, now you have to pay the price. You gotta deal with all the fallout. You gotta get out, grab a fishing pole, and get some soul. Is it you? Is it me? We can't see through a flying eye. In the storm of the eye, wandering back. Who let the genie out of the bottle? No, putting it back. Wandering back. Facing down and howling. Who let the genie out of the bottle? No, putting it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was born about 7 hours ago. I've been working on the lyrics for maybe the past 4 days.
Yeah, pretty interesting, dude. Nice.
You were there when Toxic Man Flu made the comment in your chat.
Yep, I remember that.
I figured you'd want to hear it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was. I've learned the ebb and flow of the creativity, and I've learned that to recognize when that time is happening, because sometimes you'll get a spurt of creativity, and if you don't stop what you're doing and then just start writing, you'll lose it. And there's be a lot of times, I'll be watching a TV show, I'll be watching something for research to do with a TV show, and I'll have to pause it and start sending myself a DM on Twitter, and boom, and then I'll basically tighten it up a little later, so that way the idea of what struck me at that moment, I send it to me, or I'll be in a conversation or something, and something will strike me, or I'll be in a thread conversation on Twitter, and something will strike me. It's like, oh wow, that's a concept. Write that down real quick. And I find all kinds of different creativity, and that I recognized when Toxic Man Flu put that thing out there. I was like, yeah, that's good. That'll mesh with something that I either got a little bit of, or a little something already bouncing around in my head. And the sign of the times and all that stuff, and points the way and points the finger, and the wind blows through the trees and all that stuff, and the bear really did knock the tree down in the woods.
Yep.
Expecting something different.
All right, buddy. It's 4 going on 4:15. I'm heading to bed.
Yeah, it's 1:17 here. I've had a few cognac drinks.
Yeah.
Not what I would consider a whole lot. But yeah, I'm going to play a couple more songs, and anything that you got recently going on your channel?
No, but my birthday's coming up on next Monday, so yeah, I'll probably have a birthday stream next Sunday, guys. So
cool.
So come by, check that out. I know Bear will be there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know. You guys know I'll send links to my friends. So, if you want to be there, be there. Just I'll figure out a time. I still haven't figured out time for it, but I'll probably do it on Sunday because Sunday's a good day for that. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that probably Sunday night. My birthday falls on Monday, but I'd probably rather do it Sunday night. It's better than Monday. So yeah, my birthday stream will be fun because I'll be drinking. It'll be crazy. I'll probably spin the wheel of Twitch thoughts. I'll probably do all kind of talking about politics, chicks, music, probably everything on there. So
that's the 21st.
Yeah, I'll probably do it on the 21st because my birthday's 22nd, but I'll do it on the 21st. So that's the next thing coming up. And we got Pegasus coming up this week, Thursday, too. So, but we'll do that. But yeah, it'll be good times. Birthday stream will be fun. You guys know my sense of humor, so it'll be legendary. So it'll be hilarious. So I can't wait. So all right, guys, take care of yourselves. Get some rest, and I will see you on the flip. Take it easy, Bear.
And you take care. I'm gonna play one more song and then call it a night. I think living in Funny Papers Land is appropriate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Definitely appropriate. Besides, I teased it a little bit earlier. All right.
Damn.
Cool.
Hey, if anybody wants to send me a blonde with some nice big boobs for my birthday, I'll take that. I'm in the mood for a blonde this time.
Yeah. Someone help this man out. I'm sure if it turned out to be a green-eyed ginger, he wouldn't complain.
Well, no. Oh, I've been kind of I've been on and off. That's kind of what I've been messing with, Bear. It's funny you actually keyed in on that.
Well, I do what I do. Hey.
Yeah.
So here we go. Living in Funny Papers Land. Yeah. How's it sound?
Living in Funny Paper Land. Welcome to 2021. The Insanity 2020 in Funny Paper Land. Instruments of adjustments in the commencements. Bible disseminating beguilements in cartoon land. In Funny Paper Land. The Jokers in cartoon land. What makes this show something else to Plastic Smile Land? Means of information and exclamations and other dimensions and aberrations. Just warp speaking ways. Stand and face the wind. Something else times two. Television and the funny papers. And in cartoon land. In plastic smile land. Gas the instruments. In Funny Paper Land.
Hey.
Living in funny paper land. Welcome to 2021, the insanity 20s in funny paper land. Instruments of adjustment.
All those photos you see, I took those.
Nice.
Beguilement in cartoon land, in funny paper land. The Jokers in cartoon land. What makes this show something else times two? Disseminations and aberrations, just warp speaking ways. Stand and face the wind. Something else times two. Television and the funny papers in cartoon land. In plastic smile land. Gas the instruments in funny paper land. Living in funny paper land. Welcome to 2021. The insanity's 20s in funny papers land. Instruments of adjustment in the commencement of wild disseminating
The Olympics.
beguilement in cartoon land. The funny paper land. The Jokers in cartoon land. What makes the show something else times two?
Well, folks, good night. Thanks for hanging out.
Night.
Love you. Hail.